Heyo everybody, welcome to the Amalgam Games Lab. My name is Shannon Haegler. I am your host alongside Keena Johnston.
My phone's on silent.
Yeah, better be. This is the show where we talk games, gaming industry, gaming news at large. But first, housekeeping. Check out the Amalgam show later on in the week. Yeah, it's later on. It's always after Amalgam Games Lab. Where we talk pop culture things we care about and other stuff. It's going to be an interesting one this week. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Amalgam Show, where you can listen to Amalgam Archaeology, where we're discussing Final Fantasy. We'll probably have to record one of those in a couple of weeks soon.
Yeah.
Another one, and also you can get the podcast RSS feed. Podcast in your ear holes, on the go. If you have any questions, comment below, or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com, and leave the like and subscribe. Sweet, let's jump into it. Been off a couple of weeks.
Yep, and you know what happens in a couple of weeks? Stuff happens.
Oh, man. Alright, so we're gonna...
So what I've done in the show notes is I've divided it into bad news, news, and good news.
Cool. So let's start with the bad news, because
Bad news
that makes
first.
life easier. America.
America!
Can you guys just...
Sort your fucking shit out?
Yeah, can you just find your shit, find all of it, and just get it together? Because they... Oh, man.
It's so easy not to have a shooting.
It is really easy. It's surprisingly easy. We've been doing it for decades.
It's 1990.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know, there was an EA tournament, a Madden tournament, kicking off their big, Madden league, actually.
Was it the first of
It
them?
was one of the first.
Yeah.
If not the first, it was one of the first, qualifiers for
Yeah.
this big season of Madden tournament.
Yeah.
And there was a shooting. It was bound to happen eventually, because apparently there's a shooting, literally every day in America.
Yeah.
I think there's been something like 100 and something mass shootings in America. We just don't hear about all of them. Because, if they don't count, if the body count isn't over 10, you don't hear about them on the news.
Yeah, except for this one. In the best way, thankfully, it wasn't too high, but...
No, I think it was 2 dead, 4 injured or something like that. 2 dead along with the shooter, I think.
Yeah.
Don't know his name, don't care for it, honestly.
No.
But EA...
Punchy McGee.
Yeah. EA has basically cancelled the tournament now, so it looks like there will
They
be...
cancelled the qualifiers, which means it's weird because, how do you qualify for grand finals? But that's a different.
I don't think they're doing it full stop. I thought they cancelled the whole lot.
They said we are postponing indefinitely the qualifiers.
Okay.
Which means grand finals may still. I think they're just going to readjust, figure out what they need to do.
Okay.
And part of that readjustments is they held their charity stream yesterday.
Yeah.
Which is always good. Greg Miller went from kind of funny. I don't know what he did. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. They also donated. They're just donating $1 million. That will be going to the victims and their families.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's done, whether it's through a charity or whatever, I'm not sure. But EA seems to be handling this. For as much shit as we give EA as being a shitty fucking company,
They just make shitty games. Well, their products are shitty in certain ways.
yeah, they make shitty decisions about the products we like,
Yeah.
which sucks. But they have been handling this with very good grace, I believe. As far as I can tell.
Even us, one of the injured victims is suing EA and wherever the place was hosted.
I hate that so much.
I get it.
I
He's
get
suing
it.
on
I
the
get it.
grounds of not providing a safe environment.
I get it.
Because, and that's been the big topic, is that there's no security at any video game
I
place.
don't care. That's the thing, is that I get it. The dude's been shot at, and that's horrible, and he's deal with it as he can. But the issue is always, and this is a weird political thing, but it's not like he's going to sue EA for not having enough security. EA shouldn't have to have that much security. You guys should just ban your fucking assault weapons.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them. It's that simple. Then they're done.
Yep.
Then you wouldn't need that problem. Then you wouldn't be shot at.
Yeah.
But no, because I'll bet he's gonna sue. He's probably gonna get a bunch of money, and nothing changes. He should be mad at his government for not doing the right by him.
Yeah, but no matter what people who are for gun control, no matter what type of control, the NRA they have such a they email immediately whenever any laws are threatened. They immediately send email and the NRA, the people who follow that are mobilized. That's the word I'm looking for. And they call up their congressman we want our guns, and the people who aren't part of like people who want gun control aren't as mobilized, and that's
Yeah.
why nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
Email chains work apparently.
Yeah, it's a real crazy thing. It is a shitty situation. Like I said, unfortunately, it was bound to happen at some point because gaming conventions, gaming tournaments, all this kind of esports stuff. Esports is getting bigger, but also on top of that, video games and general sort of nerd culture tends to attract large groups of people into a small area.
Yep.
As long as America has the gun laws they have currently, every time one of those large events happens, it is just asking for trouble. It is continually asking for trouble. Because I don't care how much security you have, because we saw it in Vegas. The security guards in the... Was it a music?
I'm not sure.
Well, I can't remember what it was. It was like a... Yeah, like a concert.
Yeah.
The security guards there aren't going to do shit to the dude in a skyscraper across the road with an assault rifle aimed at the crowd. There's nothing they can do. Increased security does fuck all in that situation.
Yeah.
So, like, congratulations, we've got another one down. I guess you just count down to the next one, but that sucks. But like I said,
Probably already been another one.
probably.
It's so easy to not have guns. It's so easy.
It's so
Every
easy.
other fucking country in the world has dealt with this.
Yeah, every other country went home with a lot of guns, lots of shooting. What if there were no guns? Oh, turns out there's no shootings. Oh, wow, okay. It's fair
To
enough.
the point where our news is just stabbings. We get stabbings a lot. And
But
I'm
even
like,
that happens so, like, it doesn't happen as frequently.
Yeah,
Because,
no,
like, it's such an effort to do that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's an Australian culture thing, too. We're lazy. So, like,
but
if it's
also,
an effort
like,
to do thing...
yeah, stabbing is very personal. So, like, if you piss someone off to the point of a stabbing, you fucking
There's
probably deserved it to some degree.
There's some deep-seated problems there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a horrible situation. It's something that, if you're talking about the gaming industry, you're going to have to hit on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully...
If you're an American, call your congressman.
Yeah,
That's all you can
yeah.
do, I guess. I don't know.
If this ever somehow reaches any of the victims,
Yeah.
well, apologies, our condolences, and we hope everything gets better from here.
Yeah.
That sucks. Moving on to even more bad news then.
Yeah.
Where was this earthquake?
The earthquake itself was in... I'm not sure the name of the island, but it was the most northernmost island.
Hokkaido?
Oh, that sounds correct. Someone's...
I don't know.
It starts with H, I know that for sure.
Yeah, it starts to hate. I don't know Japan as well as I friggin' should.
Yeah, no,
Being me, I should know Japan better.
But yeah, no, an earthquake hit the northernmost island following the typhoon that happened a couple of days earlier, which the news that came out of the typhoon was, Nintendo lost the N off their company thing. I'm like, that's a typhoon. We should be reporting more stuff than Nintendo lost its N.
It is Hokkaido. It was in Hokkaido, yeah. So yeah, due to that, Nintendo was scheduled to have a direct.
Which was like 8 a.m. our time.
Yep, but as a... It's weird because like the Nintendo offices are nowhere near Hokkaido, as far as I know.
I think the reason they're doing it is that, one, out of respect,
Yes.
two, they have employees that would have family out there.
Exactly. I was going to say, the Nintendo itself was not affected directly by this, but because their employees have family members there, and just because of the nature of Japan in terms of like whenever these disasters happen, they mobilize very quickly. They are a society that gels together rather than tears each other apart.
Yeah.
America. So when this happened, Nintendo was just like, look, out of respect for this tragedy, we're not going to do the direct. Also to allow our employees who have friends and family there to do what they need to.
And also because it was just days after the typhoon, two natural disasters in 1 week. They need okay, let's chill, let's do a company
Should
reset.
we move Japan somewhere? Because they seem to get hit with an earthquake very often, quite
what
often.
happens when you're on a fault line?
Can we move them? I feel like they need to be moved. We just pick Japan up and move it somewhere safe. I want to keep it.
I don't know how.
I feel so sorry for them.
Let's put them in New Zealand. I mean, they're on a fault line, but they're not as risk,
No, because it's not an active fault line.
which is yet. Give it another 1,000
Yeah,
years.
well,
That's
maybe,
not quite enough.
slow
Fault
moving
line.
stuff, but yeah. But yeah, so the direct was delayed, and in the grand scheme of things, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Some announcements of some video games I'm not going to play for a while.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine, but obviously people are a little bit disappointed. There's probably some stuff in there that will start to see coming out.
Yeah.
Because I believe they just delayed it, so they will probably just put that out soon.
Yeah, then they said they're taking time to reschedule, and we will know it as soon as they. My issue with the reporting of this is the reports and headlines aren't like delayed due to natural disasters in Japan. It's just like Nintendo Direct delayed. Like that's all people are seeing, and like people aren't getting the full message, like because people can't read full articles. So they don't know the full, like, the reason. They're just getting mad that, oh, where the fuck's my where's my Direct? Where's my Pokemons? I'm like, guys, there's bigger things. Because as soon as I, like, saw it was happening, like, why would that happen? Earthquake? What kind of earthquake? Earthquakes happen all the time. And I'm like, oh, there's a pretty big one. Like, it was 6.7, I want to say.
That's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, no, the pictures for it was, like, fucking devastating. Like, full-on, like, landslides and, like, just shifted earth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens in an earthquake.
When it happens, it happens. Yeah.
But thank God Japan is like, yeah, efficient. Like they know what to do when it's an earthquake. As opposed to if fucking Brisbane got hit with an earthquake, we'd be
we would be fucked.
We'd be destroyed.
No idea
We'd have no infrastructure. Hey, at least the NBN might be gone, and we can put in a new infrastructure.
Yeah, maybe. Even then, it would take the government years to move on that kind of shit because they're fucking in a shit show. Yeah. That happened since the last one. I think we got a new prime minister. Did that happen last time?
I don't know. I think
it's happened since the last Games Lab.
Yeah.
Fucking happy days. Happy days.
Reminded to change to service your car every prime minister.
But yeah, because of this, a couple of announcements have come out.
Yeah,
like parties trying to be like, look, this is what we were going to announce.
They're not like saying that, but like the impression is like, hey, we still have like physicals and like stuff to do. Like
we have dates to hit, basically. So we needed to get this stuff out.
Yeah. So Civ 6
sorry, Nintendo. Here's the stuff.
Yeah. So Civ 6 was announced for Switch, which I think is pretty good. It's going to come with like all the updates and then even more updates.
Yeah.
Including the Australia campaign, Macedonia, Persia, and another one. I can't remember.
The idea of Civ on a Switch, great, fantastic.
It's like Diablo on a Switch.
Yeah, an RTS on a Switch, yeah, absolutely. Of course, I want to have that.
Does it have like easy mode?
I have no idea. I've never played Civ.
Like neither have I, but I've heard many good things. I bought Civ 5, never booted it up.
Yeah, Civ 5 Complete Edition is kind of seen as the gold standard for those games right now. So if you're going to play a strategy game, that'll be it. Civ 6 seems to be like Civ 5 was when Civ 5 first launched, which is like, it's fine, but there are problems.
Yeah.
And as the updates kind of go along, that's when it gets better and better and better. And then eventually you get to the end of it and it's like, okay, this thing is basically damn near perfect.
Yeah.
So getting it on Switch would be a good idea, because especially if they're going to update it on the Switch as well and keep it.
We don't have too many games that are regularly updated. I suppose Smash will probably be that game. So I think I'm just worried about like infrastructure. And I know you have to pay for updates and just hope it stays and like it just doesn't get left in the dust.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure they'll figure out some sort of stuff. But then we had the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition
announced.
What even is that?
It's okay. It was designed for the mobile game. It's the same voice, it's the same copy paste voice, but it's just chibi version, designed to run on lower spec.
Is it the game?
It's the game. It's not. I never actually got to the gameplay part, but it is still straight up the storyline. Like you still push the car at the start. You still do all that kind of stuff. It's basically.
That sounds gross, because honestly, half of that game's appeal is how fucking good it looks.
Yeah.
Because it's gorgeous. If it didn't look as good as it was, then the 10 years in development would be
mute.
Yeah, I would be actively angry at that game if it didn't look good, but it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And especially running on like a decent system like a Pro or an X, that thing looks fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. And you can get the 8K version on Windows Edition.
Yeah, and you can kind of forgive some of its flaws for how good it looks. But without that, what the fuck am I doing?
Like, to me, I sort of get Pocket Edition. Like, yes, they're trying to whore out 15 as much as possible to, I think, not only make it a successful game, but also recoup all their losses from Versus 13 as well. Because I know initially, like, this is profitable. Because I think they were looking at 15. They just decided to take the loss on Versus. But now I think they're like, let's make as much money as possible.
It's weird we were talking about Final Fantasy 15. I just came across a thing on my Reddit page. Final Fantasy 15 has sold 8.1 million copies.
That's good. They're happy with that. I think it's the second best-selling Final Fantasy game after 7.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's being launched in a generation with a really good install base. Like for both PlayStation and Xbox. I mean, Xbox is behind, but
it's doing half the numbers, but it's outpacing the 360.
Exactly.
That's still fucking
so
great.
yeah, it's a really good generation to launch something. So everyone's looking to play a game when you launch. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was bound to do better than most.
Yeah.
And I hope that this means that they are encouraged and continue to make strides towards another Final Fantasy that is better.
16. Give us.
Oh, I want that announcement soon. No, I don't want that announcement soon. I want that announcement in like 2 years when it's basically done. That's what I want this time. Because look, too many times they've announced the Final Fantasy game way before it is ready.
Yeah.
They just need to say, like, this thing's coming out next year. When it is done, then tell me about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to wait 10 years again for it.
Yeah. It's interesting. The Final Fantasy podcast I listen to, Final Fantasy Union, they have pointed out this is the longest we've gone without hearing about the next game in the series. Because usually we know the next few games in development. Like when 7 happened, we knew 8, and then 9 was very close, and we knew 10, and then like we had the whole 13 shit. And then even before 13 came out, 14, before, like 6 months after 13 came out, 14 came out.
Yeah.
And we didn't know about 15. Probably, yeah. No.
Well, we knew it was Versus 13.
Yeah.
We
at
knew
that, point,
and then
like,
we didn't know it was going to be called 15. They didn't do the name change until a couple of years before the release of the game.
yeah,
And they were like,
2013.
By the way,
Yeah.
it's going to be Final Fantasy 15 now.
Yeah.
We're ditching the whole Nova Fabula Crystallis stuff.
Yeah. And then, yeah, this is the longest we've gone without, like, a 16. Usually we have something by now. But
Yeah.
no, I'm like, cool, if Square is learning, or I have a feeling they are focusing on trying to get 7 out the door.
Yeah, I get more of a feeling that there is no plan on the table rather than...
I think there's, like, pre-pro.
I don't even know at this point.
Yeah.
So much of their resources were devised to the Final Fantasy 15 game itself, and then the DLC to follow that up. Then you've got Kingdom Hearts 3. Then you've got the Final Fantasy 7 remake.
And then you've got Tabata's new IP.
Yeah. And then you've got
Mobile games.
yeah, like the mobile games, the MMO, like all the other
Yeah.
bits and pieces that are constantly updated. Like, I don't know what studio's taking care of that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we don't know who would be working, because we know where most people are, but we just don't know who would be doing this.
Yeah.
Like 16.
Anyway.
Maybe the 3... Oh, wait. I was going to say maybe the Kingdom Hearts 3 team is going to do it, but I'm like, they're probably going to do the next Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, fuck, eh? Go on to the next story.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna, like, mention quickly that, like, Yoshi was also, like, leaked out. Yoshi's Crafted World being leaked. That looked like it was the next version of Yoshi's Woolly World. That was the one that was coming out. So a couple of different things leaking out from Nintendo that probably would have been in that direct had the, devastating Japan earthquake not hit. So we still have a little bit of time to go. We're pretty sure... Yay! We saved it. We're pretty sure we will get that direct sometime soon.
I'm expecting next week.
Yeah, but that will have full announcements and all that kind of stuff and more details. But
We'll probably see gameplay of these announced titles as well. Because
Yeah, I hope
we
so.
haven't got trailers. It's just press releases.
yeah, you would hope it would be gameplay, or at least cinematic trailers, and then probably release dates, or at least release windows.
Yeah.
I
I know some of these already updated, like Civ has a
2019.
date. Yeah. Yoshi definitely needs another trailer.
Because Yoshi was, I think they did that the last E3
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct.
No.
Was the one before that, I
Oh.
think. Yoshi has been seen before.
Yes. Yoshi has been seen. It was just called Yoshi.
And it was just, Yoshi 2019. And it was just like, oh, that's another Woolly World thing. Cool. All right, sweet. You can do
But
that.
apparently they're adding more crafty stuff this time in terms of, like, more arts and
Oh, so it's
crafts.
Tearaway.
I wouldn't... Maybe in terms of art style, but...
Oh, man.
The only thing that I'm excited is something that's already out, and I still want that woolly Yoshi amiibo.
Okay.
The only thing I'm like, oh yeah, I should buy that.
But yeah, our thoughts out to the people in Japan as well for that devastating earthquake. We hope everything gets better there soon as well. And that sort of hits it for the bad news.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Now on to the news.
Yeah, like, oh shit.
This is
Could
gross.
be bad.
Battlefield 5 got delayed.
Which is very interesting.
What?
Okay, so there was this. People think that there's an analyst that came out. He based his numbers on the Amazon pre-orders.
Yeah, just the Amazon pre-orders.
Yes, and then those pre-orders were lower than Call of Duty and Red Dead. Like, by a significant margin, like 85%.
But his
also, Amazon hasn't been putting every game up for pre-order properly, so...
Yeah,
there's a
like
weird
they don't
situation.
put everything in properly. They've also just changed their pre-order system.
Yeah.
So they used to give 20% off to pre-orders.
Yeah.
Now you just get a straight $10 credit. So that's changed the way the pre-order
Yeah.
market works. So like his analysis, quote unquote, if you want to call it that, has like giant bits of context missing and
Yeah.
big flaws in it. This has got nothing to do with that.
The only other thing, they're trying to like refine their battle royale, which has been officially revealed. It's like it's team squad based and it's 64 players, which Battlefield's good at 64 players. Like they've been doing that since Battlefield 3, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I think this is a problem that is deeper in the gaming industry than just this individual game. But and this is a thought of mine, sort of coming off the bat of things as well that we were talking about earlier, not on the cast, but you know, when we were driving here.
Yeah.
About the thing of like gamers get so fucking angry about the tiniest things,
Yeah.
and the general public doesn't know how games are made
Because
and how this all works.
Because we haven't been told. Like
Yes.
movies, we pretty much know. Like you can investigate. I've been following the superhero movies since like I want to say 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
I know how those movies work. I do not expect the fucking 9 million Spider-Man spin-offs we're getting. I don't
Yeah.
expect we'll ever get that Black Cat movie.
Yeah.
Because Venom's gonna bomb. Like, and I know like pre-pro, and I don't know what specifically goes into it, but I can watch a documentary. Like I've seen the Superman making ofs. I'm like, I have a general idea of how these are made.
And the
Video
way
games aren't they aren't down to a science like
no,
movies
they are very much fluid and changing. But here's the thing: is that it comes from two sides. The consumer, the gamer, the whatever you want to call it, we have a duty to perhaps get better with the way we discuss things with the gaming world. If a puddle is smaller in a trailer compared to the actual gameplay, fucking get over it. It's a puddle. Does it really change the game in any way? No. The answer is no. Like, if you fucking say yes, you're a bad human being, go think about what you've done. So, we need to get better at that discourse. But, also, a month's delay to fine-tune an entire mode? That game's got to be gold already, surely.
Apparently not.
It comes out in a couple of months.
Some games don't even go gold anymore. They're like literally working on it till the day it comes out. Like I know there's gold to like to print the fucking disc, but
I guess what I'm trying to get at here is that having researched a lot about the industry, obviously not being in it, so I don't know exactly, but having a bit more of an understanding of like this thing is like the Titanic. It's a big, giant, moving thing, and it's hard to steer it in one direction or another. For EA to come out and be like, "Oh, there's some problems with the Battle Royale mode, quote unquote.
Yeah.
We're going to delay it a month." That sets the expectation that whatever problem that you've got can be fixed in a month.
Yes.
And the thing is, as from what I know about the gaming industry, no problem can be fixed in a month.
No, nothing like that. Like, yeah, you might be able to crush a few bugs, but nothing.
No, nothing big. No sweeping
changes. The main
changes.
theory is that they don't want a Titanfall 2 this. Like, because Titanfall 2 fucked themselves up when they put it between Call of Duty and Battlefield 1, I think it was. So they don't want to put this between two big AAA games.
Yeah, but the thing with Titanfall was that is that they did it to themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's their own fucking thing. Like they put it. EA is the publisher for Titanfall. EA is also the publisher for Battlefield. They could have figured that shit out.
Yeah.
They
the
did.
Fucking rest of the industry figured it out.
Yeah, for them to move Battlefield now because we don't want to be in between two big releases. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? Like.
And I don't know why they took forever to realize.
This is the shit I was talking about before, where I'm like, EA makes dumb decisions sometimes, and they piss us off. And like, yes, they seem to do right by all this bad stuff that's happening, but also, guys, what the fuck? Like, get your shit together.
It's not. Yeah, it's one. I don't know. Because usually October is for them. Like that's when Battlefield and even Battlefront launches. Call of Duty comes out first 2 weeks of November.
Yeah, usually
Red
first
Dead-
Tuesday in November.
Red Dead has thrown all that out.
Call of Duty has traditionally come out the first Tuesday of November, except the last couple of years where they've started launching the Friday before. And yeah, so Call of Duty's been in a weird position now. Did you see the trailer for the Blackout mode?
No.
Looks alright.
Yeah. If they ever pump that out for free, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, I get the feeling that's probably what's going to happen. The gameplay looks snappy like a Call of Duty.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, that's the thing that does excite me about these Battlefield and Call of Duty things. That they've got their gameplay down to a science. That's one of the things they have figured out. And playing a super refined battle royale, really good.
Yes,
like I'm not a big like Twitch shooter fan.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I do gravitate towards.
I mean, it did
Fortnite.
look cool. There was some, what seemed like brief gameplay glimpses in there, and there was some cool stuff that looked like he could do, and the problem is that it still looking at the trailer and watching the whole trailer, it still bugged me in that way of like the characters in that trailer, the way it's working, the things that are happening in that trailer are leaning into that. Very much leaning into that shitty fan base kind of thing of like, there's a grenade at one point that has like one of those monkeys on it, like the symbol slapping monkeys, and I'm like, okay, all right, and then all the characters have like crazy hairdos and
this is Call of Duty.
Yeah, and they make dumb quips. There's a point where a sniper is looking down the barrel, and before he shoots, he just goes, "I don't like anyone." Like, okay.
That's
fucking whatever.
Okay, my excitement was that it was going to be like a grounded battle royale, kind of like PUBG. PUBG, ridiculous in its bugs and shit, but
nope. They are going the other way.
That's not fun at all. We've got that. It's called Fortnite, and that
I mean,
is what it is, and that's
they're
fine.
going the Fortnite route using the tech and gameplay of Call of Duty. So like it's weird.
It's called Overwatch.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it looks like it might be fun if that game goes on sale, because this is the thing that kind of makes me divert from, is that like there's no single player there. There's no reason for me to spend $100 on that fucking thing. Yeah. It's a full price game with a battle royale mode, and I don't know how anyone pitched this in Activision's offices, where they're going, we'll charge $100 for a battle royale mode, because it's basically what it is. Because like when you think about it, the multiplayer's there, the zombies are there, but the focus is on the blackout mode.
Yeah, because they were doing single player, but they scrapped it. Like, I hope it is for the reason they said, and because it wasn't coming together.
I doubt it.
I doubt it as well, because like we need a. But also, Activision. They could have just like finished that off if it was coming together, and just threw money at the blackout. Blackout mode.
No, because the thing is, like, just Call of Duty games are in a 3-year development cycle.
Yeah.
By the time PUBG and Fortnite became as popular as they are, it was going to be pretty hard for them to change course on that.
Yeah.
So my guess, and this is just a guess, is that they were partway through development on the story mode. Some suit at the top of the company comes down to, who's doing it this year? Treyarch.
Yeah.
Comes down to Treyarch and goes, we hear this Battle Royale thing's really popular. We want you to make one of those and stick it in this game. And Treyarch goes, what the fuck are you talking about? We are 18 months into development. We are 18 months from release. We can't put a fucking Battle Royale mode in it. And they were like, do it. And then they walked away. Yeah. And now they've had to piece together a Battle Royale mode. And as they were piecing that together, they were trying to finish the single-player mode, and it just wasn't working. Yeah. So, because they wanted to appease the publisher, they diverted all their resources to the Blackout mode. Yeah. And then, 6 months from release, we're like, hey, we think we've got something on this Blackout mode. It might actually be kind of fun. Problem is, no one's touched the story mode for the last 6 months. What do we do? And Activision just goes, we'll just tell them we don't have it. Because I get the feeling they've been wanting to remove the story mode for a while now.
Yeah.
Because they've been focusing on the multiplayer stuff, and that's where the money is.
I think, but it kind of sucks because, like, Black Ops, I forgot what it's called. Black Ops has consistently had, like, the best story.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Treyarch just managed to nail it since then.
Yeah.
Like, that's good. Like, well done. I just wish that they could keep going, but no.
No, but that's not the world we live in. We live in the world of Fortnite. We live in the darkest timeline.
Not that dark.
It is pretty dark.
I ain't even sure a Call of Duty fan. That's always the thing for me, is that I don't give a shit about these games. I care about what they mean for the industry and shit. But, like, I got my single player games. Everyone's like, single player is dead. I'm like, I got Spider-Man and God of War.
Oh man, I can't wait to play Spider-Man.
And Shadow of the Tomb Raider looks good.
As of this
I wish I could
recording,
afford it.
Spider-Man came out yesterday, and I have yet to play it, but I will be playing it once we finish this, and I am so looking forward to it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great.
Next story.
Yeah, what's this? I didn't see this.
This happened last week, I think. Yeah, Tencent drops $20 billion in value.
That's a lot of money.
That's a fuck ton.
That's a big drop. Did we get a percentage point on that? Because Tencent's an evil corporation that owns half the world. So
I don't
is that like
know
2% of their?
It's a big chunk.
Big
regardless. They've now dropped to the second most evil company.
Oh,
their
okay.
rival.
Behind.
I don't know their name, but I did hear it, but I don't remember. It's another. I don't know.
What's the other one? Alibaba.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well done.
I know. Again, I've done the giant corporation conspiracy research.
Yeah.
It's like Alibaba, Tencent, Alpha something or other. Alpha something or other. It's the company that owns Google.
I didn't realize Google's owned.
Well, Google is the face, but
Yeah.
the trading name, the corporation behind it, is Alpha something. Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Because then when you look at it, you're like, Google owns YouTube and
Yeah.
a whole bunch of other social media networks and all this kind of stuff, and it's like one of those big like.
Yeah.
And then when you look into that actual corporation, and see like on the back end of like, if you go to the stock market and you see its trading name and everything it owns, it's a long list. And you're like,
Okay.
oh fuck, they're in like half the goddamn world.
Yeah.
So like, I'm researching that, but Tencent losing that. What caused this?
Okay. From China put in a new regulation. I should have done more research on this, but they put in something that basically fucks up everything.
Okay.
In terms of like trading. So like now Tencent is a big marketing, has a big control in China. Mm-hmm. So like all these things are affected now, like because Tencent owns like a bunch of China stuff, and now people are worried about how's it going to affect like Western companies because they own they have not a majority stock but a pretty sizable chunk in Ubisoft. How is that going to affect Ubisoft? Are people going to be laid off? There was a fallout of this recently. There was a company that Tencent had shares in that.
Looks like they're bouncing back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's just one of those things where like, this China thing happened. Oh fuck! Take your shares, and it's just and now self builds back up. That's always what happens with this shit. The stock market is very much like gamers, very instant reaction. Like, shit.
It's not just the regulation. It's the fucking US. It's the trade war.
Yeah.
It's the US and China. It's Trump being that fucking baby, where he's like, we're gonna raise tariffs on everyone.
Yeah.
And that essentially put pressure on Hong Kong's market, and because of that, everything kind of like stopped for a second. And Tencent lost, a bunch of money, and then obviously some regulations were put in, and it's super fucked up. So that's gonna be rough because that's the thing that a lot of the news programs that I watch and a lot of places that I follow have been sort of worried about is that Donald Trump, the President of the United States, it's still hard to say that, has been putting on a lot of trade tariffs, essentially taxes on everything that's imported and certain goods from certain countries, and they are impacting the global economy because those countries are basically just like, well, fuck you then, and putting on their own taxes and then pulling out of certain agreements and doing trade with other people, and it's fucking everyone.
This is the type of politics I like to hear. Actual stuff that matters with the economy, not Trump said a mean tweet.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then like that's the stuff that gets reported.
The problem is with him is that it's so intertwined. It's that like these policies are happening because he's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't like China, so I'm going to slap a 20% tariff on them.
Yeah.
I don't like Mexico, so I'm putting 25% tariffs on them.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah.
Canada's prime minister looks better than me and people like him more. 20% tariff on aluminium. It's like, what do you guys do? What? So he's just doing stuff, and it's like, it's hard to separate the two because the dumbass and the man are both the president of the United States.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, you want to hear policy and you want to do stuff about that, but in order to tease out the policy, you have to come to grips with the asshole that's doing it.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it was just like
So yeah, Tencent also not immune from Donald Trump. That's what we figured out.
I think we found our title.
That's Jesus Christ. That's such a fucking nightmare situation. Ugh, gross. But yeah, I think that does it for the news.
Now on to the good news.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077.
Fucking looks awesome, doesn't it?
Oh, fucking looks fantastic. Looks like planet Earth in about 40 years.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say it looks like Deus Ex 3.
No,
Well, 5.
no, it looks way better than that.
Oh
It
yeah,
looks
just
like,
what I mean. Like if Deus Ex had like a bigger budget and like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
the next Deus Ex.
and was like open world and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. But like the thing with Cyberpunk is that, I actually heard a really good comparison about this. The thing with Deus Ex is that it is very one thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what if Cyberpunk was real, and what does that mean for machines and humans?
Yeah.
And like cybernetics and cyborgs. And it's very specific on that particular thing. Whereas Cyberpunk 2077 is way more about like, what's it like to live in that world?
Yeah.
What does day-to-day shit look like?
Yeah.
You know? Which looks really
Yeah,
good.
Deus Ex does look like the early onset because like people with cybernetics are sort of like cybers.
Yeah.
Whereas this is I'm guessing it's going to be the reverse. People who don't have cybernetics are going to be the minority, and we're going to get that like racism allegories in it, like oppression for people who don't.
Maybe.
Korra did that. I just watched the first season of Korra, and they're doing the non-benders oppression thing. It was a good season.
Yeah, it was a good season.
But
yeah, the demo. So basically, it was the full demo
from E3.
From E3 that was released. It wasn't
slightly different. Like people noticed that, like just a couple of things different. The puddles were there.
Yeah, again, the internet going on the like, is this downgraded? Like, fuck you, go to hell.
And that's the thing I love about this. Like, so CD Projekt Red, just like, this is all going to change. This is probably not going to be even in the game. It's like, this is a demo. It's like, this game's like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, this game is years off.
Disclaimer!
Yeah, because they got burned on the Witcher thing.
Yeah.
They got burned on it bad, and it's
So
like...
they're like, just fucking...
Yeah, because they suddenly had to realize, and a lot of developers have now realized this in the last 5 years, as I said before, gamers don't know how games are made.
Yeah.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
They look at that thing and I was thinking about this before. I think that there needs to be an expectation shift, because if you are dumb enough to think that the highly produced pre-rendered demo reel is going to match the game on the disc, you're a fucking moron. Because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It is a very particular, very highly scripted and usually pre-rendered thing.
Yeah.
That is very much like, we're going to make this thing look as good as we possibly can.
And because it is so small, they don't have to render the rest of the game as
No.
well, so you can just turn it up. It's like, we could have fucking awesome, beautiful, almost Avatar, the movie looking games.
Yeah.
If it was like 2 minutes long.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
But
and
no,
that's the
these
thing.
games
Is
are like
like,
60 hours, so they look like God of War.
yeah, those demos are often
great.
built in such a way that if you don't stick to the critical path that the demo is making you, you will break it. It will just fall apart.
Yeah.
So when
Same.
people get angry at that and are like, it doesn't look like it did in the demo, I'm like, well, fuck you, go to hell.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
This has happened.
You're one of those people
time
who can
immemorial.
believe it's not butter, right? Yeah.
This has happened time immemorial since like Killzone 2. It's just
Yeah.
like this is just gonna happen forever. But that was just a fuck up on their side. But yeah, no.
But yeah, it is what it is. That game looks awesome. I really can't wait for it.
I can't. I can. I've got a bunch of other games to play in the meantime.
I'm hoping this is the CD Projekt Red game that gets me into CD Projekt Red.
You don't like Witcher 3?
I haven't played Witcher 3.
I'll give it a go.
I keep looking at it like, the thing with it is that when it came out, which was 2015,
Yes.
yep, didn't play it, haven't played it. I have a friend who's super into it. He keeps telling me how long it is, and I keep going, I don't have time for that.
That's the thing. I feel with that game, you don't need to finish it. You can. I spent 50 hours with it, didn't finish it, and I had my fill. It was great. I know what that game is. I enjoyed it. I also got fucked over because I finished it. I started playing it after I played Bloodborne. Which Bloodborne, very mechanical game. It is very precise. Witcher is not that. It is a loosey-goosey, I have a sword! I'm like, it's not even like Arkham combat or anything. I'm like, oh my god, this feels like a PS2 game in terms of like just waving your stick around.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I feel like I would get into that game, and once I got into that game, I would need to finish it, and then when the need to finish a game gets into my brain, there's no turning back. And I want to play other games, so I'm basically resigning myself to the fact that I probably will never play The Witcher, but I will probably play Cyberpunk, because when The Witcher came out, there was something else that came out around the same time, and I wanted to play that instead. Yeah. This time, Cyberpunk is the thing I want to play, so regardless of what's coming out around it, that's probably the thing I'm going to pick up, because it's the one I've been waiting for.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Fuck no. Honestly, if the remake came out at the same time as Cyberpunk, like around those couple of weeks, I would pick up Cyberpunk instead. Because I don't need a Final Fantasy VII Remake. I never needed a Final Fantasy VII Remake. I never needed it. I have Final Fantasy VII on every fucking platform. Like, I could buy an old PS1, I could get it on PS1. I have it downloaded to my PS3. I can download it from the App Store now, I'm pretty sure. Like, there's umpteen ways for me to get that fucking game. I don't need a high-res version of it. I just don't need it.
But it plays like Kingdom Hearts.
I don't give a fuck! In fact, ew, gross, what? Yeah. Why would I want that? I know that's what it plays like. I've seen the thing and the press conference and whatever it was that came out of it. But when I first saw that, I was like, oh man, really? Come on, just give me
They want that
part of the
action.
Part of the appeal from the older Final Fantasies is that I get to go back to the turn-based or ATB systems and have this weird thing where it's a slightly slower paced game. Like, now's my battle. Now's the story. Now's the battle. Instead of just getting bombarded with stuff. So yeah, that's
that's a different topic.
I don't care.
Cyberpunk's gonna happen one day.
Looks good. Check out the demo. It's like a 48
next gen cross gen game.
Yeah, it's like a 45-minute video. So yeah, it's good stuff. If you haven't checked it out, go have a look at it.
The next news is we talked about this the previous Gamescast. Games Lab.
Yeah, the Xbox All Access.
Yes,
that's a thing.
Yes, it's real. You only in the US, and even then only in like select regions.
It's only in the US and only
you have to go to a Microsoft store.
Microsoft stores.
Which I thought, a Microsoft store online. I'm like, oh no, you have to actually go to
a physical Microsoft shop. Yeah,
I've only ever seen
like an Apple store.
One. And it was like backed onto another shop or something. I was but yeah. So I learned two things out of that. Microsoft things are real, and all access. Basically, you like just finance it, you lease it until it's over, and then you own it. Which
just like a phone.
Yeah,
just like a phone. Told you, just like a fucking phone. They'll do it, and then it'll give them the ability to do one a year because you'll just do. Oh yeah, no, you lease it, and then you pay $99 at the end of in 12 months in the lease, and then you get to upgrade to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and it gets them going again. I mean. It was the same thing that happened with the iPhone. iPhone was launched and was only available at Apple stores first. It's the exact same thing. They'll only do it at Microsoft stores. If it takes off, they'll start expanding it. Eventually, you'll be able to go to your phone store and pick up a console.
We'll see.
EB Games will start doing contracts.
Do they? No, they don't. I know you can buy iPhones from EB.
You can buy iPhones, but you can't buy any like SIM or anything like that. But if Microsoft was to start allowing this to be done through other retailers, you guarantee you would be walking into an EB Games and signing up for a contract like you do at a Telstra store.
I mean, like JB does that. They do Telstra stuff there.
Yeah.
They're a partner or something.
It's super weird, but that's the reality we live in, and that's what it is going to be. I mean, the thing with the All Access that I do like is that it gives you Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass, all that's included as well. So you don't have to pay extra for that. Like, okay, that's more reasonable. Like, you get the services of Xbox as well as the Xbox itself. Yeah. And with Game Pass and them having all of their first-party games day and date launching on Game Pass, that means you get every first-party Xbox game on release while you have that subscription. That's a cool thing. Yeah. That's cool.
Like, the Game Pass was good. Like, they just added Quantum Break, which I do want to play. I don't have an Xbox, I'll scrounge one up from someone. Master Chief Collection finally got there with the 4K support.
Yeah, I heard I heard it's fixed. I heard they fixed Master Chief Collection.
It is fixed, like the multiplayer backend shit. Cool. Fucking about 343.
My friend, my friend who's super into Halo, basically messaged me over the. basically over the last couple of days, and he just said, I think I'm back into Halo multiplayer. And I was like, what? He's like, they launched it on Game Pass, they fixed it, and not only that, because they put it on Game Pass, the community built up again.
Yeah.
So, like, the hardcore players who are always there are still there, but there was this flood of newbies into the thing, so it goes back to the way that most multiplayer games are at the very start when they launch, which is a mixture of hardcore and casual. So the people who are like me, who are in the middle, like, I'm good at games, but I never play a multiplayer game too much, I cannot feel like shit. Like, I can jump in there and get a few kills and oh, I didn't win, but you know what, I had fun. Apparently that's where the Halo community's at right now, which is nice. Like, people were able to play, like, a mate of mine at work was like, yeah man, I was playing Blood Gulch last night. Original Halo. It was fucking rad. I was like, okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm happy the Halo people got their Halo. It finally happened.
343 can divert all their resources. They can leave this the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Don't put out another patch.
No.
Like, I'm afraid if they do one more thing, it's just going to clash
again. Yeah. Like a very, very, like, painfully put together house of cards. Like, it's now set. Just let the glue dry. Yeah.
Halo Infinite. Let's work on that now.
Yeah, that's what we need next. But yeah, Xbox All Access being a real thing, it's a fascinating development. I don't know how to feel about it yet. I think it's a cool idea. I worry about what it means in terms of... Because my fear actually is this thing. If we're going to get into it a little bit here. My fear is that Xbox decides to do this straight off the bat, and PlayStation digs their heels and doesn't shift.
I am very interested to see what PlayStation's next gen plans are, because from everything. Because the next story, which I've been pitching this for ages, in a certain way, Xbox gets Alexa and Cortana support, which means you can go, okay, Google, okay, Xbox, play Netflix, which is something you can do within a Kinect, and that was the best feature.
Yeah.
And I've been wondering, now that we're in this, like, oh shit, I did turn it on. Cancel. The best feature. I'm worried that like PlayStation can do it. Like PlayStation Camera can do. It's very basic, but you can do it. This world of voice connected stuff, putting companies into our own homes now. Yeah, it's just it's a good thing. I think this is a smart idea. For just integrated thing. I'm surprised that like you can do it with third party.
Yeah, I mean, side note, that noise you're hearing in the background, people are playing Smash Brothers.
Brawl.
Because
no one likes Wii U.
Yes, and also no one has
Ultimate. No one liked the Wii U. Smash Wii U, good.
Yeah, and also Ultimate isn't out yet. But, so if you're wondering what that yelling in the background is, I believe that is Dean murdering Nina? Okay.
It is not sex.
No.
Or is it?
It could be.
Smash.
We'll never know. Smush. Anyway. So this is the Xbox gets this support through itself. You don't need the Kinect? Is that how that works? You need the Kinect.
You need an Alexa or a Cortana, and you like compare them or whatever.
Oh, and you compare them to
Cortana,
the
I'm not actually sure how. Because I think it already has Cortana. I'm not sure.
It is Cortana as far as I know.
Yeah, you can just have like a thing link them up somehow. I don't know how that would work.
Okay, that makes more sense. So you can have your Alexa linked to the Xbox, and then you can say, okay, that's cool. Cool.
And Alexa has from what I've heard, just a really good voice system.
Yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah, my favorite joke is someone's always like, "Hey Alexa, order tampons." And they just everyone got tampons on their next Amazon bill.
Why?
Because everyone needs tampons. Well, 51% of the population needs tampons.
Yes, that is true, and that's why we shouldn't tax it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well done, Australia, for progressing on that.
Did we?
I think we got rid of the bill. We got rid of the law. It's deregulated now.
Are you sure? Okay, I thought we were still arguing over that.
No, I'm pretty sure I saw. Oh, yeah, no, got through Senate, and then I'm pretty sure House of Congress. No, House.
No, I don't think the lower house would have voted on anything.
I don't know.
The House of Representatives would not have voted on anything in weeks now because of like the whole change of.
This was before all that. This was like a couple months ago.
Okay, yeah, even then.
I don't know.
Fucking shit.
I don't know. I know it went through the Senate at the very least.
Okay, well that's
something. First started.
That's something.
But anyway, I think this is a good idea. What I want to going back to the following up on PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation does need something like this. Whether they go with Google or even like again with Alexa.
They could probably build their own. To be honest, I'll bet you Sony could build their own.
They could. It won't be good. Sony's
good at hardware.
They're good at. You're right, but they're not good at software.
They're not good at software, but You're right.
Because PlayStation camera can do all this. PlayStation camera is not very good.
But they have proven that they can. They have proven in the past that they can do something new and different, and it would work. So
But this isn't new or different.
No. But I mean, from new or different from their normal standardized operating, you know, because like I remember Sony phones, they are generally Sony. Before that, when it was Sony Ericsson, all the way up until then, they were generally shit.
Yeah.
They were fine for the most part, but then like I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, they came up with the Sony Xperia Z1. Fucking fantastic phone. Amazing phone. Durable as hell. Got everything done. Quick as hell. Nice camera. Better camera than the iPhone at the time.
Yeah. And that's the thing, that, like, they're usually up there with, like, Pixel with, like, the best camera.
Bigger screen. Like, all the stuff that you wanted. And it was really, really good. Expandable memory. Easy to use. Like, fucking fantastic phone. They've proven that they can do... If they put their mind to something, they can just do it.
Yeah.
And... The Xperia's got kind of better from there. They were good for a while. They were up there as like one of the better phones on the market. Yeah. And then, you know, Sony hits a hard patch. They need to focus on the PS4 or whatever. Yeah. Whatever goes wrong, but they're kind of back to the middle of the pack now, which is fine. You don't need to be the best phone on the market to have like 1 billion sales. Yeah. But they've proven that, like if there's something that they're not good at and they just focus on it and really put their mind to it, they'll make a good one. Yeah. So I'll bet they can make a good one of those, like, a voice recognizable thing.
The thing that I don't see why they would do it, besides the fact there would be a Sony. Like, I get Apple. There's so many Apple apps. Amazon, you can order stuff through Amazon and you can do stuff with Kindle. And it can even do audiobooks, which is cool. And play Skyrim. The Google... So many different Google applications. Like, there's reasons they're integrated into other parts of our life. Sony, it would just be PlayStation 5, the next TV. Like, there's not... I don't see too much of a reason to make their own proprietary thing. Although, again, I can see Sony doing that because they're weird.
Yes, and because they don't like having other people work on their thing. Like, they... What was it?
Or if it was inbuilt. That's the thing. I don't want to buy like a separate thing. My initial pitch was like it's just in the thing.
Oh, like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I think they would do. Is they would build their own proprietary one into the system. Yeah. But like Sony's always weird with that kind of stuff because like they wouldn't let Spotify. I think it was Spotify or some sort of music app onto the PlayStation for ages because they had their own music thing. Or did they own Spotify first?
I don't think they owned Spotify.
I can't remember. There was some sort of streaming service that they owned first.
Yeah, they had their own PlayStation Music, which I forget. It had a different name at the time. And then they also had Quora? No, Quora was something else.
Crackle?
No, that was something else again.
Yeah, that was their video streaming service.
So many different things.
Yeah.
But they had actually... Unlimited. Sony Unlimited.
Yeah.
That's something else again. That's still music, but not quite what I'm thinking of. My point is, they've done their own proprietary stuff. But they finally have Spotify. That was like a day one thing on the PS4.
Yes, because I believe it wasn't accessible on the PS3 for some reason. Yeah. And mostly because they had their own music thing. And it was weird. Yeah, they always tend to be a little bit backwards on that stuff. Yeah. Like, you know, but they let Netflix... they're super weird. I don't know what they're going to do. My concern is that if they dig their heels in on the, no, we're just going to be a console that you pay $500 up front and then you own it and then you play games for 5 years... My concern is that they will be left in the dust if Microsoft goes to the next Xbox with this all-access thing on day of launch. That could be an issue. Because if you can pay... If the option is $500 for a PS5...
Or $22 a month for an Xbox.
And $0 up front for an Xbox, I'm pretty sure most of your market's going to head towards the Xbox. And my concern there is... Again, I always say this, the market is better when both are doing well. Yeah. In fact, the market is better when all three are doing well. Nintendo's in the fight too, that's when we get the best stuff.
And like we are, in terms of the current generation, like we are in the best timeline. Switch is doing gangbusters, apparently going to do Wii numbers. I'll believe it when I see it. PS4 is already at 80 million in 5 years when it took the PS3 to do 8 years. Yeah. Xbox doing half the numbers of that. That's still outpacing the 360. But this is the best fucking sales. Like the games, like yes, exclusives are their own thing, but still
And the funny thing
like,
was,
this is a fucking awesome generation.
yeah, funny thing was the previous generation people were like, oh, well, it might be the last console generation because I don't think people are up to buying hardware anymore. Fucking prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Like, people are up to buying hardware. They want new shit.
They want good hardware. That's like, the scare came when like the Wii U failed,
Yeah.
and that failed because it's a shit piece of hardware. And
It's because it's prototype.
Yeah.
It's halfway there.
living on a prayer. But you know, we're good. I don't know. Next generation could also just be the same. Everyone's like, oh, the next generation, we're gonna get to streaming soon, or it should be. I think Microsoft will launch
A streaming box.
They'll do their Scarlet like streaming, and then they'll do their like normal streaming box. They'll do their normal box. Like, hey, this is cheaper. You can stream it for those with have gigabit internet.
Yeah.
And then you can just have by 600, and then like maybe a year down the line, instead of doing an S or something at that point, it'll be a thing. That takes a little while.
Anyway, we'll move on to the last little story here.
Yeah.
THQ Nordic has been spending the last several months, probably a couple of years. It's a weird thing. Nordic has been spending the last couple of years buying up other studios, specifically the ones owned by THQ. Now, Kingdoms of Amalur has just been recently purchased by THQ Nordic. Was that a THQ property?
No, an EA.
Was it an EA property?
Yeah.
They buy it off of EA.
They bought it off 38 Studios, who own the IP.
Right.
EA just published it. Which, from that IP, they got the Kingdom Amalur Reckoning game and whatever that means. And then they've also got the MMO that was going along with it. Okay. The initial development was, we're making an MMO. And then Kurt Schilling's like, I like this idea, let's make it an actual game. Kurt Schilling being a baseball player who likes video games. And then like, okay, to help fund the MMO, let's put out a single player game to make some money.
Yeah.
That didn't work. And then Rhode Island sued the fuck out of them for it because they helped invest money into it, and it only sold 1.5 million copies.
Was that Kingdoms of Amalur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great, but because EA and Rhode Island had all these fucking, it's gonna do Skyrim numbers. No, that's not how games go.
No,
most people would kill for 1.5 million.
It's weird because Kingdoms of Amalur has this weird spot occupied in my head because there are two people I know who are super into that game. One of them is one of my best friends. He's manager at EB Games. He wasn't working there when that game came out, but he picked it up on a whim and fucking loves it. Has like just a massive hard on for this game. Fucking loves it. So I think this news he'll probably be like, oh fuck yes, we'll get another one.
At very least a remaster.
Yeah, and so like he's
least.
He's super into games. Obviously, he works for EB Games as a manager and all that kind of stuff. And he's played a bunch of them, and just he thinks the game is excellent. He loves it to death. On the other end of the spectrum is my fiance's best friend, who still owns a PS2 for SingStar and plays literally fuck all other video games. Loves this video game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say hate, because like that seemed to be the fandom.
No.
That seemed to be the vibe. Half the people like it, half the people think it's just a generic by the numbers
The
RPG.
two people I know who have played that game both fucking love it, and they are on opposite ends of the gaming spectrum. One's a hardcore gamer, one of them barely knows what video games are, but they both love this game. So it occupies this weird space in my head of like, what is this game? How can both of these people love it so much? What is this weird thing?
From what I've heard, it's just down to the combat. It's just a good action RPG, which doesn't really happen that much. Like a good third-person action RPG, kind of in the Fable vein, but I think it's more combat orientated than Fable, which is very.
Because if that's what it is, plus like Skyrim stuff, I might like that.
And it's got the. Again, Fable-esque art style to it in terms of it's not dark, gritty, it's a bit artsy, artsy.
Yeah, a bit higher art. Yeah, cool. Yeah. No, but that's the thing is that THQ Nordic buying this gives me more hope. So we were discussing this again on the car ride here, that THQ hasn't... They've been doing a lot of moves, but they haven't actually released a game since they became THQ Nordic, I don't think. I think they might have released a couple of... Small things and remasters have come out since then.
Definitely remasters.
But their own standalone, like Darksiders 3, that's the first major milestone.
That's the thing that they've properly produced, published, funded themselves.
Yeah, so that thing is going to That thing hits the shelves on the 27th of November this
Something
year.
else comes out that day. I cannot remember.
I think it's
It
the
might be Battlefield.
27th.
I don't think it is
Oh
Battlefield.
god, I hope it's not Battlefield.
I don't know. But anyway, not Pokemon. Maybe I'm just thinking of something else. Oh, that's when Final Fantasy released that week.
It was that
15th.
week, yeah, but it was the 30th, wasn't it?
It was the 29th. Might have been the 30th. Yeah, I
I
don't know.
think it was the 30th because they pushed it back almost exactly 2 months from when they were supposed to release
Which was
it.
their original release date
This was
from
the-
the Uncovered event. I fucking love and hate Square Enix. They're
Oh,
such
yeah.
a fucking shit show of a company.
Yeah, Darksiders. Yeah, 27th of November is when that thing comes out, and that is,
Maybe I've got something that says when it happens. Because I'm thinking something else does come out that day, but I cannot remember what it is.
yeah. I'm just going to
The
quickly.
27th of November. No, nothing. I'm stupid. Oh, man.
What
A
is-
game. Probably 50 Switch games on the eStore that day.
Yeah, probably. There'll probably be a bunch of stuff on there, but like that's going to be their first big thing. Is
Which,
just
that's after Thanksgiving, isn't it?
Yes, a couple
Which
days
is-
after.
Interesting. Because every game tries to get out before Black Friday so they can get their sales up.
Yeah, remember it's THQ Nordic. They are like a European company, so they don't tend to give a shit.
That's a good point. November's a weird month, especially this year. The weirdest month I can remember because
Yeah,
usually
'cause-
packed.
yeah.
Now it's like weirdly packed.
And then it's
like-
Pokemon.
it's Pokemon, Hitman, now Battlefield. It's an odd month.
It is an odd month, yeah.
Usually, like the first year I got into gaming, November was the month. That's when we got Uncharted 3, Modern Warfare 3,
Here we go.
Battlefield 3. I know that was October.
Those Walking Dead things come out.
Oh yeah,
Hitman 2's in November.
yeah.
Spyro's in November.
Ah,
Fallout 76 is in November.
I thought it was October.
Nope.
Oh,
November 14th. Then Pokemon. Then Battlefield on the 20th. Then Wreckfest on the 20th.
Get hyped.
Darksiders 3 comes out on the 27th. And Artifact, the first game from Valve in fuck knows how long, comes out on the
Dota 2.
20th. Yeah. Comes out on the 28th.
I know they did Portal Constructor, Bridge Constructor.
What?
Have you not seen that?
No.
It's Bridge Constructor. It's now on the Switch. It's just the bridge constructing game, but with portals.
Oh, that sounds fun.
People are like, yeah, it's fun. It's a Valve game, but something D-Team did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, THQ Nordic. They're a team. I don't know. I do want to see. I'm probably not going to play Darksiders because
I am
I know
gonna
you
play
are,
so
definitely for
much
sure.
of that fucking game. I can't wait for that fucking game. It's gonna be so fucking good, and I'm gonna love every minute of it.
speaking of that specifically, I keep forgetting that Kingdom Hearts has a release date.
Yeah, the 26th of January.
27th or something.
Yeah.
It's that last week of January. I'm like, oh yeah, like I got all these games, and then I'm just gonna chill. I'm like, oh wait, last week of January, Kingdom Hearts 3. Like I am not prepared. I'm not prepared.
Who is prepared? This
Not
game's been a
prepared.
decade in the making.
Oh, only since 2013. They've only started development in 2013.
Yes, they started development. The thing was announced in 2009.
No, not like
Pretty sure they were like, we're working on a Kingdom Hearts 3.
at that point. No, not officially. They always talked about Kingdom Hearts 3, but as official.
That's all you need to do. What have I been saying this whole podcast? That's all you need to do. Gamers are fucking idiots.
Yeah, no, that's true.
All you need to do is say that you are thinking about working on it, and they're like, "It's in development. We've got half of it done. They just haven't, they just haven't finished it. They're going to release it soon. The money and the timing, and they're not polishing it right, and fucking yeah, man, they'll get it out soon. It'll be out soon, yeah, like next 18 months, yeah." And then it never fucking happens because gamers are idiots.
Yep. But no, the game's only spent 6 years in development. 5 years. Because that extra month doesn't really count.
Yeah. Well, actual development, yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
in perceived development, that thing's been a decade in the making. Which is all that matters. Perception is reality. So, the community and the public perceives that thing has been in development for that long. That's how much they're going to assume it. I mean, the good thing going for it, though, is because it has only been in development for 5 years instead of 10. Looking at the the gameplay videos and the screenshots and stuff that we're getting out of it, it looks really polished. It looks really good. Whereas games that do develop in, like, even Final Fantasy 15 looks really good, but there are moments where you're like,
this is a PS3 game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that's the thing, like, it's built from the ground up for PS4, and, like, the Kingdom Hearts team has always made good, polished games. Like, one was experimental, if that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, I'm like, it's good, and
It's their first action game that they've ever made.
It's polished, but, like, there is some stuff in there where you're like, why the fuck why would you put platforming puzzles in that game? With the controls you have, why are you doing platforming puzzles?
It's a PS2, we gotta experiment.
So fucking stupid.
Donkey Kong 64.
But anyway, with THQ Nordic, their first big milestone release will be Darksiders 3, and I'm hoping that it's really good, because if THQ Nordic can prove that they've got this under control, and it's good, then suddenly, because they have, at this point, bought up the entire THQ library, it's
Plus
all under
more.
them. Yeah, plus some other ones as well. Like,
for shits and gigs.
It makes me think, like, in 2 to 3 years, are we going to have a THQ Nordic E3 press conference? Because they're...
Or even something like a Devolver Digital, like, just...
Maybe, but I'm thinking more like a Ubisoft type thing. Because
I know what you're thinking, but I'm saying at very least they'll be like what Devolver does.
They are making moves. Like, the amount of stuff they're buying and what they're doing, and, like, so far from what I have seen,
they bought Time Splitters for fuck's
sake. Yeah, for fuck's sake. No, from what I have seen, they're buying all these IPs and they're all being bought with a purpose. They're not just like, oh, we're going to buy them and sit on them. They're buying them because they're like, we're buying them, we've got a developer in mind, or we've got a studio that we've got under our banner now, or we bought the studio along with it.
Yeah.
It's like, so we're ready to, like, everything seems to be planned in such a way that I feel like every time another story comes out from THQ Nordic, I'm just sitting there going, they've got some sort of plan. And I wonder if their plan is to be the next big gaming company, to take Ubisoft's mantle of, like, that big gaming company that everyone thinks is an indie because they're so cool.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's THQ Nordic now because they're just going to do weird shit, like release a Darksiders and then maybe a Saints Row and then a Kingdoms of Amalur sequel. Like, could you, like, imagine what company has that kind of breadth in their portfolio? Darksiders, Saints Row, Kingdoms of Amalur.
Time Splitters.
Time Splitters.
Like, I'm sure there's like some games that have
The U-Draw tablet.
What? They own that.
They own that.
Fucking rest in peace.
Yeah.
That was so weird. U-Draw failed, and then Wii U. Like, it's the
U-Draw failed because there was no point to it. No one wanted it.
But, like, I think the U, like, for me, like, and that's why no one... I want to erase Wii U from the
You can't.
Every game
You
to the
can't.
Switch. Port every game to the Switch.
No, because I actually think the Wii U is a necessary part of history. It's like World War II. It needs to be there because we need to be reminded of the fucking shit show that it was.
I am usually okay with reminding of the bad things. Like Supergirl, we need to remember the movie Supergirl. We need to remember Catwoman and Elektra to get to the point of Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman.
Yes.
But the Wii U, man.
Oh man, that's so fucking dumb. But yes, no, yeah, I'm hoping THQ Nordic does well.
What are your expectations for Darksiders 3? What are your expectations?
My expectations are that it will be... So, Darksiders 1 was a really good Zelda game. Darksiders 2 was a pretty decent open world-ish kind of game.
I've never heard the first one called Zelda. The second one Zelda, the first one God of War. That's always how I've heard it.
What? No. Well, okay. The Darksiders 1 gets kind of... gets kind of lumped in with God of War because I believe the first one came out within a window that people were still remembering the second God of War game.
Yeah.
So they're related in the mind.
Yeah.
But no, the fucking... You get a hook shot in that game.
You get a hook shot in God of War?
No, in what...
You do... You see his chains. His hook shot.
Yeah, no. But I mean, like, you get, like, the Zelda-style, like, hook shot.
Yeah.
Not like God of War where he's got chains on his arms. Like,
And I mean, the chains that also do.
yeah,
That's
no,
my
but you
point,
get like
yeah.
the hook shot, the boomerang, like you get all of those
yeah.
classic, like you get the horse to ride on. Like it's a fucking Zelda game.
Okay.
You are literally like, I mean, you would almost call it a Metroidvania.
Isn't it linear though?
Yeah, it is, but like, oh my god, Jesus. Metroidvanias are linear because it's you go straight through it, but then you can come back to do other bits and side parts.
And you should.
Yeah,
But like, it's I don't know. Anyway,
it's the same thing. Like the path through the game is linear, but like the design of the game world is like there's a hub world, and you go, okay, I do this thing over here, and then I come back to give a demon a heart, and then when that's done, he's like, okay, I need you to do this other thing. Cool, you go up here and
I
do
thought it
this
was just
thing.
straight line.
No. You come up and then as you come back and collect things and get more powerful, you unlock abilities and items that can let you go back and do other things in the area you've previously done, and also allow you to move forward and progress the story. So it's all it's a fucking Zelda game.
Yeah,
it's a Zelda game. It even has like friggin' like at the end of every area that you're doing, there is some sort of like puzzle or challenge, not unlike a temple, to then unlock the boss, to then fight it, to then move on to the next. Like it's a fucking Zelda game. The second one is more of a open worldy, kind of open worldy action game. But yeah, what I'm expecting here is that Darksiders 1 took the ideas from God of War, which was like, we want a character action game, mixed it with some Zelda elements, to then create, in a new aesthetic, to create something that is not the best of everything, not the worst of everything, just really good at everything.
that's what I do appreciate with the Darksiders game. They are unabashedly just taking mechanics from other games that are really good, putting them into one, see how it turns out.
Yeah.
And usually people like those games for what they are.
Yeah, so they put it together, and the thing is, they never excel at everything. Like, the combat in Darksiders 1 is fine. It's button mashy, there's combos, but for the most part, as long as you are leveling up and beating a lot of monsters, you can pretty much brute force your way through the whole game. It's not that bad. The combat is fine. The art style is good. Great, even, I would think. The story is good as well. Like, it's all just great stuff, and then you put it together and you're like, okay, this is a really good game. Like, it's not the best game ever made, but I am so satisfied with the 12 to 20 hours that I put into that game that I have no qualms. Same with Darksiders 2. It's more open worldy, so there's more, like, exploration, more stuff to do, but it's a loot-driven game. You kill enemies, you get loot. Loot. What I'm expecting from Darksiders 3 is for them to take the current fad, which is the open world. No.
Sorry.
No. that's Darksiders 5.
Oh.
5. They'll do 4, which will be the fourth horseman. Then they'll do 5. Man, I really hope that plan works out. It's gonna be so fucking good. Anyway, they'll take the current most used. That's the kind of thing they did. They took the most used game template.
Genre.
Yeah,
Template's a better word. Yeah,
the game template that was most used at that time. Which there were a lot of Zelda clones out there when Darksiders 1 came out.
I'm pretty sure Darksiders 2. That was 2012, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it was the year after Skyward Sword came out.
Yes, yeah. And so Darksiders 2, there was a lot of, like, games were getting bigger.
Yeah.
And then there was the loot-driven stuff that was starting to happen.
Borderlands.
Yes.
Diablo was also around there.
Yes,
as well.
Diablo, Borderlands, that kind of stuff. And, I mean, it was weird because they kind of got in just before, like, everything of, like, Destiny, like, that really loot-driven, like, ooh, you got a purple thing. You know, like the color-coded stuff. Like, that's the color coding they use in Darksiders. Green, for common, blue for rare, purple for legendary. And it was just, like, just before its time.
Yeah.
But they took the most common element across video games at the time, and then just made a really good version of that, and then slapped on the Four Horsemen. Like, their version of the Four Horsemen, which is fucking incredible. So what I'm expecting is the most commonly used thing right now, which is the Ubisoft open world template.
Is that what this game is?
I'm pretty sure it is an open world game, yeah.
Okay. That sounds okay. If it's just like a Assassin's Creed Far Cry. Don't do the outpost with the collectibles.
With a more action orientated, like
combat system.
like Bayonetta almost, like that kind
Kind
of
of like Nier.
yeah, a little bit.
Nier
Yeah,
with Outpost.
yeah.
You're selling me.
Like that's basically what I'm expecting from it. Is that it's going to be an open world game where you get to kind of rummage around and do your own kind of stuff, explore the world at your own pace. But the combat's going to be, because that's kind of where Darksiders always had its strength. It was like it's fun to hit shit in this game.
Yeah.
And when they've got the character Fury with the whip, it's going to be a little bit more flashy. The sword, because the sword from Darksiders 1 is just big and it's just bulky and it's just like smack, 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 slice, smack. And Darksiders 2, it's the size and he's a little bit faster, but it's still smack, smack, smack.
Yeah.
Whereas the whip, like there's, I can pull you into me and then I can do a hit and then I can flick you up into the air.
Okay, so then what this does more sound like is DMC 2013.
Possibly, yeah.
DMC was very much like pull, push, like
Yeah.
get people into the air and just keep like. DMC 2013 is great. I wish they made a sequel to that. Hopefully DMC 5.
Anyway, look, honestly, I'm looking forward to Darksiders 3. I will let everyone know what it's like when it comes out, because I'm going to be playing that game fucking non-stop.
And then Smash.
But yeah, I think that might be a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Now. So if you did enjoy the show, remember to leave a like and subscribe down below. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Amalgam Show, where you can listen to the Amalgam Archaeology series and get us on the go in the RSS feed. Check out the Amalgam Show later in the week. I think I already said that, but that's okay. If you have any questions, comment below or email us at amalgamshow@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good week.
Have a good week. Enjoy Spider-Man.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.